And 1 Corinthians 13 tells us, if I speak with tongues of men or angels, but do not have love, I am only a resounding gong or a clanging cymbal. If I have the gift of prophecy and can fathom all mysteries and all knowledge, and if I have faith that can move mountains, but do not have love, I am nothing. If I give all I possess to the poor and give over my body to hardship that I may boast, but do not have love, I gain nothing. Love is patient. Love is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast, and it is not proud. It does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking, and it is not easily angered, and it keeps no record of wrongdoing. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices in a truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, and always perseveres. Love never fails. But where there are prophecies, they will cease. Where there are tongues, they will be stilled. Where there is knowledge, it will pass away. For we know in part and we prophesy in part. But when completion comes, what is in part disappears. When I was a child, I talked like a child. I thought like a child. I reasoned as a child. When I became grown, I put away the childhood things, for now we see only a reflection as in the mirror, and then we shall see face to face. Now I know in part, then I shall know fully, even as I am fully known. And now these three things remain: faith, hope, and love. And the greatest of these is love. I believe I will never grow weary of hearing those words. So how shall we live this expansive definition of love? How can I live into all of those descriptors that love is? I'm so glad you asked. There's a multitude of verses in the Bible that give us instruction, and I had such fun with them this week. So depending on the translation you read, there are either between 300 to 600 or probably more references to love in the Bible. We're not going to talk about all of them today. But beginning with waking up in the morning, we are given clear, good, livable instructions. Right in Psalms 143, verse 8, it says, "Let the morning bring me word of your unfailing love." Let the morning bring your word of unfailing love. For I have put my trust in you. Show me the way I should go. For to you I entrust my life. Oh my goodness, let our forgetting shrink and let our remembering expand so that we can remember in that space between sleep and awake, before we even open our eyes, remember that unfailing love. Oh, let it be the seed that grows in your day. That love that is unfailing for each and every one of us, without exception. No matter who or what we are, no matter what we do, without exception, there is no one left out of that circle of God's love. Of course, Sometimes when things are going really well, going the way we think they should go in our life, we get to thinking, okay, I've got this. I can do this. I can do this on my own. We forget that we are beloved. We forget that love supports and honors our coming and our going and our doing and our being. Sunday mornings, I listen to Tara Brach, a Buddhist teacher who does a weekly podcast. I listened to her on the way in, and this morning, she concurred. She said that one of the greatest challenges that we have in our life is to remember. Yes, we forget. We forget easily. We forget quickly. So what might our day look like if we remember that no matter what the day brings, we are loved? No matter how good the day is, we're loved. No matter how bad we might call the day, we are loved. There's comfort in that. And would you not put your trust in your faith, in your guidance that's seeded by that love? So right now, in this moment, and many times throughout today and the coming days, just pause and tell yourself, I am loved. Oh, beautiful. Remember that. Speak it out loud so you could feel the vibration of the words. Let that vibration soak into you. Yes. And the Bible even enlightens us as to how we should dress. In Colossians 3:12 and 14, it says, therefore, as God's people, holy and dearly loved, clothe yourselves with compassion, with kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience. And over all of these virtues, put on love, which binds everything together in perfect unity. So after you primp and put on your pretty clothes, wrap yourself in love that binds everything together. Now, the first thing I noticed about that compassion and kindness, humility, patience, gentleness, was those were not things that I could purchase at Nordstrom's or Barney's or even Harrods. And certainly not at TJ Maxx or the like. These are garments that we put on when we slip into our spiritual curiosity, when we open ourselves to the possibilities of what our spiritual life might be, to understand the divine and that amazing presence of love in our life. When we remember to put on that garment of love over everything else, only then we are well dressed for any occasion. We are wrapped in the power of love so that all that we see, all that we hear, all that we encounter is taken in through the filter of love. Imagine that quarrel that you had with a family member or a coworker or a soundbite on the news and you felt angry. Just imagine all of that seen and felt and heard through the presence of love. Imagine. Now we even get instruction about how to walk. Did you pay attention how you walked in here? I've been noticing this week how I walk. Sometimes very heavy-footed, sometimes tiptoe. And there are several passages in the Bible that talk to us about this. First, I go to Psalms 110, 133. Direct my footsteps according to your word. Let no sin, no error thinking rule over me. And in Galatians, we really capture the essence of how we might walk in love with the words, "Since we live by Spirit, let us keep step with Spirit." And I can't help but think about the Tibetan monks that began their journey in Fort Worth, Texas, and are now walking to Washington, D.C. on a walk for peace. I watch them every day, and one of them is still barefoot. Every time he touches the earth, he feels that earth. Oh my gosh. What might happen if we walk our days in step with Spirit? Compassion for all beings, speaking truth to power in the face of injustice. That's love. That's walking with love. Standing strong as we are guided to when we witness inequity or cruelty. That, my friends, is love. When I call myself first to live the truth I know, to speak. And I've mentioned this before, I've taken a vow many years ago to myself, not on my watch. I will never stand idly by to merely bear witness to someone being injured emotionally, spiritually, physically, psychologically. I will speak. I will move. I will do all that's mine to do. Sometimes I feel the anger, but from a place of love for the person who I perceive as being injured at the time. And I can't help but notice, not only does the Bible tell us how to wake up, how to dress, and how to walk, it tells us who to love and how to love and even why to love. So who we shall love begins in Luke 12:30-31. We clearly hear this in the greatest commandment is to love God. The second is to love our neighbor as we love ourselves. So get to loving on yourself so that you have plenty to give to your neighbor. We give from the overflow of us. I can't give from an empty vessel. If I'm not filled with love, how am I going to give love to anybody else? If I'm not filled with compassion, how am I going to give it to anyone else? So I fill myself up. And we all have our unique ways of filling our cup, and then let it overflow into the world. And this love your neighbor is emphasized again at the Passover meal when Jesus is telling his disciples he's preparing to leave them. And in John 13:34, he says, "A new commandment I give you, to love one another. As I have loved you, now you must love one another. And by this everyone will know that you are my disciples, if you love one another." So who here is a follower of Jesus? Oh, great. So we're compelled to love one another. That's the only thing we can possibly do so that people will know this. And then there's this real commandment to love your enemies. Really. Love your enemies. Love your enemies. Do good to those who hate you. Bless those who curse you. Pray for those who mistreat you. Is that the first thing you do? Maybe. Maybe not. Yet, as we grow in our ability to love, as love becomes our default mode of being, as we live the life of love, it's only natural that our love would extend even to those who challenge us by cursing us, by hating us, by being our enemies. We couldn't help because we're so full of love. And we recognize that those who are not showing love are living in pain. They are suffering. They are hurting. They are asking to be loved. So if a child acts out seeking love, what would we give that child? We would give them love, right? It just looks very different when adults do it. because we expect adults to be better than kids. But sometimes that hurt follows us all of our life. And those who are acting in ways that look unloving are asking us to love them. So can we do that? Is that even possible for us to do? So not just people who we feel contempt for are we to love, anyone we have put outside of our heart. And you know who they are. Everybody knows. You know, nobody has to ask you that. You know who's sitting over here outside your heart. You know who you have othered. Yeah, I know. I have a list. I could give you that list in order of moving outside of my heart or alphabetically or any way you want them. But we all have our people that we have moved to the fringes of our heart. Even those on the very edge that you haven't quite decided. Let them in or let them out. Love them. Love them. This is a radical love. It's a love that is demonstrated by people like Desmond Tutu, the Dalai Lama, or Gandhi. But you know, Gandhi didn't always live from a place of love. To hear his grandson speak, Gandhi was a very angry young man in his younger years. So if Gandhi can transform from anger to love, maybe there's hope for the rest of us. Practice a life of love. And with this instruction to love your enemy, the question might rise, why? Why would I love someone who curses me? Why would I love someone who hates me? There's even an answer for that in 1 John 4:19. We love because he first loved us. Let that sink in. That's the only reason we need to love. Because we have been loved. Because he loved us first. We can then love others. Do you feel the possibility in that? To love one another because he first loved us. It seems so simple, yet it's not always easy. So this takes me to question how we love, which is answered in 1 Peter 3. For whoever would love life and see good days must keep their tongue from evil and their lips from deceitful speech. They must turn from evil and do good. They must seek peace and pursue it. Watch your words. On the back table, there's a card that says, before you speak, think. Is it true? Is it helpful? Is it inspiring? Is it necessary? And is it kind? When words, thoughts pass that threshold, maybe then we can speak them into the world with love. And our unity principle tells us to live this in our thoughts, words, and in our actions. There's nothing that we must do that isn't infused with love. There's nowhere that we must go that we can't carry love with us. So on this Sunday in Advent, as we receive the gift of love, we open wider. We seek more deeply. We understand more completely what Father Richard Rohr says. We come from love. We are made of love, and we return to love. Which brings us to the way we close our Sunday message every Sunday, 1 Corinthians 16:14. Let's say it together. Let all you do be done in love. Namaste.